Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria's movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Finally, the hero of Nigeria's democracy has arrived. He shall usher us into a new phase of development, peace, and prosperity. He is the father of the new Nigeria, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. Welcome to another season of giving Nigerians hope yet again. We are sure of a great future for both ourselves and generations yet unborn. We look forward to your leading us as a nation into our manifest destiny. Though the challenges against us as a people are many, we know that your leadership shall set us on the right path to our greatness. A new dawn beckons on us all, and having you as our president is a precursor to this. Thank you for believing in Nigeria. This message is from the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We're having a conversation around Nigeria's commitments to, of course, reduce gas emissions and what some of our obligations are. The director in charge of ICT and GIS at the National OSP Detection and Response Agency, Mrs. Olushola Adeshida, is in Egypt and still with us via Zoom. Mrs. Adeshida, just if you can hear me, I see you try to find out. You're on our screen now. Issues around the implementation have been touched on in the course of today's conversation. We also discussed why it appears that we premise some of our commitments apparently on data that is disagreeable. Back to what our commitments are, what our obligations are, and then galvanizing the entire citizenry to be part of the climate action to ensure that we save our planet and save ourselves. I don't know whether you heard the comment I made before we went on that short break, that look, you're talking about all of these things. By this morning, a number of trees, have been utilized for frying akara in our different cities.
Like I said, for me, the climate change meetings and the climate change sign-off are actually just wake-up calls for us to look inwards and see how best we want to drive our economy and issues around our health, the maximum utilization of the resources that God and nature has blessed us with. If we look at, just like you said, the issue of firewood, if we harness our natural resources very well, we definitely, in my own opinion, should be one of the richest countries in the world. So if we have the wealth, then we won't need for people to go to search for firewood in the forest, because they would have the needed amenities to help them cook in easier ways. So all these things are tied together. As a people, we need to sit down and see how best we are going to harness our natural resources. That is the angle from which I would look at it.
You're there as not as an individual, you're there representing government, and I'm sure you're going to bring back whatever deliberations you must have had there after the COP27. So tell us, what role can education and advocacy play in promoting awareness for a cleaner and safer environment in Nigeria, as like in other climes?
A lot, but I would say a lot in the terms that the citizenry need to start holding their political leaders accountable. The awareness, we have this sort of that asking our leaders, why are we not getting this value? Aside from damage to the environment, there are a lot of industries that can be created, including ethanol, even fabric industries that can be created along these gases that we're flaring. So if we use these things very well, we would definitely grow to be a very well industrialized nation. And that takes out issues of poverty, it removes issues of unemployment, and also helps us live in a healthier environment. So it's just getting it right. But the people need to be made more aware of the dangers around what is happening, what we are losing as a people in terms of resources, and how to ask questions of the leaders.
Thank you, Mrs. Adeshida. Let's come back to Honorable Sejos. Honorable Sejos, from the legislative perspective, and therefore likely implications also for executive action, is it possible for us to, say, catch our breath, collect under these things, and then draw up, or just have, if you like, a single pager, either in grants? These are realistic options for us to do, and then this is our course of action, and these are our expected outcomes over a period of time, measurable by the following metrics. Is it possible?
Very, very possible and doable. Again, it comes back to the will and the leadership. If you have a leadership with focus from day one, he will draw up these commitments and ensure implementation. It's not enough to draw things up and just leave them on the shelf. It takes a leadership that understands that we'll be talking about how much money we are losing from flaring gas and all. But it's no brainer. We all know it. But how come those to execute, those to take these decisions are not doing it? So that's why, again, I keep going back to the next election. Choose those that understand, that have the facts, that understand how to implement these things. Because if you put a team together to say, okay, this is where we are going to, roadmap, we have used that word, or we have so abused it in this country. If we say there's a roadmap and we are going to get here at a certain time, this is where we are starting from. So, midway, 5 years down the road, you say it's 10 years plan. 5 years down the road, what have you achieved? You should be able to tell us, we will plan to do this in 10 years. But in 5 years, we have even achieved 70%. Which means we have made savings. We can achieve this in 7 years. But we don't discuss that. You have a government that's in power for 4 years. He's telling you something he will do for 10 years, which is okay. Government is continuum. But we don't task them. So there's nothing, like I said, we're not reinventing anything. There's no technology we are reinventing. It's available. It's just to get the leadership to commit to this and then to deliver. And not yes.
How do we get it right?
For me, I think the elections are here. But going further, it's not enough for us to just sound off or put in a document that we can keep on the shelf. For instance, let's take the manifestos and the campaign promises of the presidential candidates. We need to get them to put this in writing and send it to the court and do an affidavit to that campaign promise.
They have immunity.
No, I'm not. It's not the individual. The individual may have immunity
Because it's absolutely necessary to do that.
We're talking about the policy. The political party does not have immunity. But because we have lost the relationship between the leader and the role that the political party has to play oversight on that person that has been elected. That's why we are saying they have immunity. If you have, for instance, we're talking about climate change, and I look at your campaign promise, where they can't take something to hold you accountable, and then we ask the courts to help us, because we have seen that the courts are no longer helping us as citizens. We need to activate the power of it. Give us a timeline. We follow up. Gas flares, I've even done videos on it, sent it on YouTube everywhere, where we have shifted gas flares up to when we shifted it to 2025. So when we do that and we continuously keep it in the consciousness, especially the media, you need to keep it on the front burner. The thing is, we have had this conversation. COP27 is happening. The people will go to COP27 and come back. No media organization will talk about it again until another COP that is coming up. So it's important that we keep these issues on the front burner, so that citizens will continue to understand that this thing, if I don't handle it, it will affect me, it will affect my daughter, it will affect my son coming. Not just now. Nobody's talking again about our sovereign wealth fund. Nobody's talking about that anymore. Nobody's talking about infrastructure fund anymore. Nobody's talking about that anymore. Climate change is global, is what the global north want us to talk about. Everybody's talking about climate change. When EITI came, pursued by the north, by the global north, all of us followed it. We have what we call the African mining vision that captures within the African context what we are doing. How many African countries are implementing that? We have one, like for instance, this gas flare tracker that we started from Nigeria. How come that the world has not taken up? This is what we are doing. This is what we are doing. We are the most populous black nation in the world. Why is it that we are not the ones giving policies on how to go about health, environment, and let the world adopt it? Must we always go and adopt what they have? They have sat down, they have put in think tanks, they have done researches before they come out with this.
Why are we not doing the same?
Why can't we do our own and say, this is our own, this is your own, do it within our own, rather we want to go and sign so that they will give us money. It's not about the money we are getting, it's not about our people.
What are we doing with the money?
I think you should answer.
Let's go. We have somebody joining us briefly via Zoom. He was supposed to be here in the studio, but I think some events must have stopped him from coming. Benjamin Ogbalo is a political will implementing all these policies and all this signing on the dots by the federal government on climate change. What is your take briefly, because we're
the issues around gas flare are already known, and I think what is missing is for citizens to call for greater accountability. And we thank God that recently the National Assembly, in line with advocacy from the Advocacy for Gas Flare Accountability in Nigeria cluster, called an investigative hearing on gas flare discrepancy to ensure that all agencies of government can now bring all the sources of gathering data. As the Mr. Adishida said, Nostra is using satellite to gather data for gas flare, while NUPRC and the oil companies and NPC are manually gathering gas flare data from the field. So there's a discrepancy between what the manual meter is giving Nigeria and what Nigeria is claiming to be the volume of the flood, and what the satellite is bringing to the table. So the movement has started. The Advocacy for Gas Flare Accountability in Nigeria cluster, working with Paludium and USAID, which, by the way, my colleague Faith Wandushi is a member of, has started the campaign to ensure that first and foremost we should ascertain correctly how much gas is Nigeria flaring, because we need to know how much gas. As you are aware, as soon as the penalties for gas increase, the volume that Nigeria is reporting reduced. So this should not be allowed to continue. Therefore, everybody, including the media, including the ministry, department, and agencies, what we are flaring, so that we can eliminate the discrepancy that exists now between the gas that is being announced, the volume that has been announced by NUPRC, and the one that has been announced by NOSRA. And everybody should be made to use the mechanism, the gas flare accountability mechanism, that the National Assembly have directed ministries and departments and agencies of government who are in the who are having oversight responsibility on gas management and gas flaring to come together to jointly work out the numbers that Nigeria is flaring so that people can pay for what they are flaring. If they pay for what they are flaring, then it will discourage flaring. It will enable the companies see the need to monetize and invest in the flared gas. Because as you know, instead of paying so much and wasting the gas, they will realize that they need to rather use that money to invest so that they can take away the gas that is being flared, which is one of the critical ways of actually ending gas flaring. So my message and the call of most people today is let there be accountability in that sector, and they should use the gas flare accountability mechanism to collate instead of using the existing method where they go to the field to collect data and there are no meters. By the way, the meter that is being used to collect this data is the meter that is supplied by the operators. You know, I mean, the person who wants to pay a penalty cannot be the one to own the meter. So if we want to insist on using that methodology, we must now look for how to bring other sources of information like the gas flare tracker that NOSRA is using to ensure that the benchmark and Nigeria can get the exact volume that is being flared so that people can pay the exact penalty. And of course, if we reduce the volume that we are flaring, it will help Nigeria to meet its commitments, the NDC commitments on Nigeria, which they are going to Egypt to talk about. If we're in Egypt and early round to ensure that we ensure all agencies of government should use better data and we should account for the gas that is being flared in the country accurately.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Benjamin Ogbalo, for the views that you have raised. Unfortunately, you didn't join us at the very beginning of this conversation. Some of the issues that you pointed out, of course, reiterated what our guest had said, but they also underscored their own arguments. For instance, Honorable Shejos Ogun did say, look, we're talking about investment in order to mitigate or reduce the quantum of gas that is being flared, investment by the oil companies. And these oil companies are JVs in majority of the cases, joint venture in which the National Oil Corporation also has interest and what is its own contribution in that respect. And more importantly, we also stress the need for utilization, and we itemize the number of measures and programs and policies that appear not to have gained a great deal of traction. What do we do? Many would argue, for instance, that the more you utilize the gas, of course, the less the flaring would be. So this is an ongoing matter that we'll continue to get back to with regard to our national commitment, and more particularly what is realistic for us in the circumstance. On that note, we'd like to thank all our guests for being with us this morning. Benjamin Ogbalo is the CEO of Initiative for Community Development. Thank you for being our guest. And then via Zoom, excuse me, we're joined from Egypt by Mrs. Olushola Adeshida, Director ICT and GIS at the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSRA. She's right there in Egypt for COP27. Here in the Abuja studios, Ms. Faith Nwadishi, Executive Director, Center for Transparency Advocacy. Always a delight having you on Good Morning Nigeria. Thank you very much, sir. Also, Honorable Sergio Ogun, Member, House of Reps, and has been, of course, in the oil and gas industry for many years, where he also served as Managing Director of an oil servicing company. But thank you very much for your candid views and what we need to do. Let's go over now to our sports desk.
Terry Murphy continued his impressive scoring form in League One as he netted in Lyoren's 2-1 home loss to Paris Saint-Germain on Sunday. Neymar opened scoring in the 9th minute before Murphy equalized for Llorens in the 53rd minute. And with 9 minutes left, Daniel Pereira netted the second, which proved to be the winner for the League One champions. The Super Eagles striker Murphy now has 9 goals in the French Elite division in the current campaign. And Serie A has congratulated Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen for becoming Nigeria's highest goal scorer in the Italian top flight. Osimhen bagged his 32nd Serie A when he drew Napoli level in their 2-1 win at Atlanta Saturday. He went on to provide the assist for Napoli's second goal in the game, which also saw another Super Eagles forward, Ademola Lookman, get on the score sheet for his 6th of this time. And in tennis, Denmark teenager Olga Ring stunned defending champion Novak Djokovic in the Paris Masters final to claim his first ATP Masters title. The 19-year-old denied Djokovic's hopes of a record-extending 7th Paris title with a 3-6.
All right, that's it for us on Good Morning Nigeria today. The program is back tomorrow, same time, 7 in the morning. I'm Kingsley.
And I'm Jumbo Yusuf. You have a great day.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Welcome to Thoughts for the Week. And we're talking proverbs, wise sayings, allegories, you name them, things that help us to understand life better. And we use them to talk about things happening around us today. And most of the proverbs I get from here. I hope you know that already. Now, let's take a look at success. What is success? If you go through the thesaurus, for instance, you'll find some keywords used to describe success. Achievements, triumph, wins, and so on. One of the major opposites of success will now be failure. That is a very, very strong word. A sage once said that the road to success is like a road under construction. Take a look at this road under construction. You can see that we have a lot on the road, signages, heavy-duty machines. You can see them, a lot of people working on the road. That's exactly what the sage has said the road to success is like. That means you have to work on this road, maneuver all the signs, all the heavy hurdles along the path to success. You have to learn to do that because our elders have said there are no shortcuts to the top of the palm tree. A wise one once said, to try and fail, it's not laziness. Did our elders not tell us that on the path of life, the path to success, that we'll meet different things? Failure being one of such things. Did they not say that we should try, that eventually we would succeed? They told us this, that what happens to you does not count as much as what you do about what happens to you. That means how you react to what is happening to you matters a lot. I was thoroughly pained recently when a young guy took his life because the music industry hadn't favored him as much as he had wanted it to. Why? Did he not hear the story of a particular man I'll tell you the story of this man. This was a man who believed what the elders had to say, that nobody knows tomorrow. Tomorrow is pregnant and nobody knows what it will bear. I'm talking about Baba Fatai Rolling Dollar. After so many years of struggles, of watching the children in quote he had brought up in music explode while he was still struggling, he eventually did make it at age 75 plus. He died a legend. He lived a full life and he was hailed as a hero. Why? Because he overcame all the odds and eventually made it. So if you're young, you're vibrant, don't just give up because you think that things are not going your way. So just like Baba Fatai Rolling Dollar, I'd encourage you to be patient, because it is said that patience is the mother of a beautiful child. So be patient, because our elders have said, the vulture cannot feed on a man who is alive. So keep the faith. Be alive.
Amenaga won elesomai.
So our thoughts for the week, it's more like a challenge again. Think about those little successes you've had. Celebrate them. Smile. And be grateful you still have life. Because with life, there is hope. Be determined that could eat the sweet kernel. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
On the show today, we discuss the underrated link between interior design and aromatherapy with Dream Home's creative director. From the first ever AMVCA runway to the stunning red carpet, the 8th edition brought back-to-back fashion hits. The designer behind Keto Couture reflects on a decade in the industry. And then it's off duty with Jefferson. Interior design is developed primarily with the sense of sight in mind. This lifestyle brand is using carefully curated fragrances to elevate the design experience.
I was born creative, but I decided to hone my skills and pursue a career in my creativity in 2015. I've drawn inspiration from all around me, then I have some creativity in me that I have put with this inspiration, and then I create amazing things.
For the last 7 years, the creative director and her team have explored the art of fine living through interior design, adding dimension and warmth to multi-purpose spaces with art, rich textures, colorful fabrics, and an expanding range of fragrances.
Dream Home has 3 subsidiaries. It has Dream Home Interiors, that's the one that makes furniture, makes furnishing. It has Dream Home Art Gallery. As you can see, we have art all around us. And then it has Dream Home Fragrances. In 2018, we launched one range. We have added to that range. We have expanded beyond reed diffusers and the sachet fragrances. Today we have room sprays, we have car diffusers added, and more in the reed diffuser collection. You actually enjoy what you're doing irrespective of how long it takes. These last 10 months, well, amazing. So let me tell you how we come about this scent. First of all, we have like a wide range of proposed scents, and then we now start to run it by individuals. Someone can just walk into this space and then we just, oh please, can you just give us 5 minutes of your time for a survey? We have a book We have all the proposed scents in that book, and then we have a space for your reaction. Indeed, we are all different people. I'm telling you, like, I would love one scent, and then let's say 60% of the people that we have recorded will tell you that, no, I don't like this. So when we do that, we now collate our results, and then we release what we feel people would like. Because I mean, if I feel I like it, I'm not the only end user. It has to appeal to the general public, and so that's why it takes back and forth. Cancel. Sometimes you cancel one fragrance, you bring it back on board, cancel it again before you settle for your final fragrances.
With its proven links to emotion and memory, scent is an integral part of how you feel about your space.
Releasing these fragrances is to aid aromatherapy. We've already studied that when a space smells nice, people are happier. You know how it is when a trash truck crosses you, you're like, ah! But then when people go into a space and it smells amazing, there's a hormone that is released in the body, that just makes the person feel better in that space. And so what we did, even the old batch that we had the same aim, but this new batch, we worked on them in such a way that they're even better than the previous batch. We used a wide range in this batch. We have jasmine, we have bergamot, we have peach, we have rose, green apples, orange, grapefruit. There's a lot. It's a wide range, so many. And so we divide them into notes. The way fragrances are prepared, there's a top note, there's a middle note, and there's a base note. So you might be smelling something. If it's faint, it means it's somewhere in the middle or bottom. But when something is prominent, one smell is prominent, it means it's the top note. It means it's sitting on top. There's one particular one that I really like. I have it everywhere in my own house. That is the Oriental Spice. Yes, one top note there would be black pepper. That really appeals to me. I love that black. There's something about black pepper. So we have one in this batch that we called Signature. So that's our signature fragrance, and we are kind of a bit secretive about what we used to produce that one. We have put down a few of the ingredients, but we didn't put everything. So the signature, Dream Home Signature, is the one that complements. I haven't met anyone who doesn't like a good space. Not one single person. I've not heard anyone say, you know what, I want to stay in this dingy place and I'm okay. No, every single person wants a nice home, irrespective of your income. You just make the place look good. And so what we have tried to do as Dream Home is to give you your dream home. So we create furniture and furnishing that makes your space to stand out. We put art on the wall, on the floors, to give it the unique touch, and then we make sure that space smells divine. Walking into your dream home, you're walking into heaven, your personal heaven.
She likes passion. She likes passion.
One of the most exciting dates on Africa's fashion calendar is the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Awards. Informed by years of glamour, the event's red carpet is an opportunity for celebrities to present themselves in decadent and statement-making looks that highlights their best features. Arriving in bright and bold colors, creative silhouettes, jaw-dropping necklines, and gowns with floor-length hems, all of this year's AMVCA nominees and attendees showed up dressed to impress. No doubt, there's never a shortage of high-octane glamour each year on the AMVCA red carpet, creating major moments with creativity and style. Among a plethora of designer gowns and bespoke suits, each red carpet finds a number of celebrities earn themselves a place in African fashion history and on the coveted Best Dressed list. Looking through the evening's best and boldest outfits provides a concise overview of how important it was for each celebrity to make their mark in this year's Best Dressed category. Elegant yet individualistic, these are our best dressed stars at the 2022 AMVCA Awards. Coming in at number 3, we have Etim Effiong and Bonang Mathiba. Etim wore a dapper suit from Deji and Kola, while Bonang Mathiba stunned in a pink sequin and feather gown designed by Sheye Oladejo. Coming in at number 2, we have Timini Ebusen and Idia Aston. Timini looked exceptional in an interesting blazer designed by Savon Dejana, while Idia turned heads in a gorgeous purple gown by Angie Lumine Couture. And our top 2 best dressed celebs of the night were Denola Gray and Osas Iodara. Denola wore a 3-piece burgundy suit by May Atafo, while Osas wore a beautiful sheer gown by Vicky James.
The word fashion for me is passion.
For roughly a decade between the early and mid-2000s, Kito Couture was one of the biggest Nigerian fashion brands to gain international visibility, showcasing on runways in New York and Paris, and grooming a crop of models and designers. The creative director opens up on the history of her clothing line and her impact in the industry.
I asked myself that question. How come did I do so well in fashion? Because that question was asked by a foreign journalist in Paris. And it's exciting that I found myself in fashion. And I used to go to a designer. I don't want to mention the designer's name. I used to sketch for them. When I go, I sketch. I love sketching. And before you know it, one of the tailors asked me, do you know you're the one making my model to survive? I say, how? Do you know your sketches are the one that she uses to do for other customers? I say, what? She said, why don't you just go into fashion? I said, no, I don't have the time. In oil and gas, I cannot do it. He said, no, that I should do it. That I have the passion. He has seen it in me, that my styles are different, that I should. I said, so how do I start? He said, don't worry, I will tell you how to start. Today, the guy gave me I gave him an appointment. He came to see me. He talked about it, and that's how I started. I was saying, how do I get the equipment? He told me what equipment to get and everything. I said, but tell us for those. He said, don't worry, madam, you will do it. I can't forget him. I've gone so far in fashion, but I cannot forget him. My mom is my inspiration. She's a fashionable lady. May her soul rest in peace. And I got a lot of styles from her. She's very detailed. Sometimes when we dress as young girls, and you're not matching well. You know, those are exciting things that is amazing about motherhood. My mother, she's really my mentor. Everywhere I go, I talk about her. She's very classy. She's very unique. And I've took that style from her as I'm growing up as a young lady. People that know me know I've always been fashionable and have a different sense of fashion. I tell people it's not when you dress naked it means that you are fashionable. No. I believe that every woman should be adorable. That word adorable makes you a fashionable person. And you look at yourself in the mirror. That's why you have the mirror. You look at yourself. Am I really looking good? Is this jewelry goes with the clothes I'm wearing? Those are the things that really make the difference. Because I was able to infuse the African fabric into the Western fabric. I think I'm one of the first designers in Nigeria that was able to do that. You know, I remember the fashion show we had in Lagos. I had it at Oriental Hotel. I did a fashion show sponsored by myself. It's a very big fashion show that I did in Lagos. That was my coming out in Lagos. And I was able to win that year. I won 2 major awards in Lagos. The best designer of the year. And I won just 2 within 2 weeks. You know, because they saw fashion in a different way. They were asking me, wow, is she a foreigner? You're able to do couture like a foreigner, because one thing about fashion is finishing. You can do everything, do a clothes and it's finished, well finished, and the fits. Even the woman with the tummy, we can hide it. You know, so I was able to do things. I blew up at that time. That's within Nigeria, because Lagos is the hub of fashion. I was able to go to Lagos and defeat them. In 2016, I won the best couture in Nigeria. You know, we all the top celebrities won other awards, but I was able to do that. You know, so, and a lot of guys who are into fashion saw this woman is going somewhere. And 2, when I started my international runways and all those stuff, I knew that I was out for this game, so I carved a niche for myself.
Jefferson Obusiri is the Nigerian model. The 26-year-old has graced the runways of Milan, Spain, Paris, and London, appearing in editorials for some of the world's most coveted brands, including Ferragamo, Versace, and Thom Browne.
Well, firstly, I never wanted to be a model. I studied oil and gas engineering and I wanted to be an oil and gas engineer. But as fate may have it, after school I was waiting for service. Then I decided to why not try something fun just while I wait until I get my service letter. And I joined School of Modeling and I got scouted by my mother agency. I got placed in Europe, I had to travel, stuff like that. And since then, I would say my career has really progressed in a positive manner. Especially after the whole COVID lockdown, because it really affected a lot of models, especially models from Africa. But I'm grateful for where I am right now and I thank God for everything. I would say my biggest modeling accomplishment is my campaign for Uniquely, because the worldwide campaign, my pictures were all over Paris, London, China, Japan, to have a campaign worldwide. It was for Salvatore Reproductive. I would say in if I have something on my mind, but as a model, the fact that you have to walk in front of a large crowd and you don't have to show any sign of fear, even though you're shaking, it really helped build my confidence, wise. I would say my confidence. Being a model didn't really change my personal style. I'm still the same person. I still drive the same way. I still act the same way. It's just the way I am. Salvatore Ferragamo, because definitely you're became my debut show. I loved your designs. It's classic. It's unique. Secondly, second designer would be Louis Vuitton. For crying out loud, who doesn't like Louis Vuitton? Okay, we have next one would be Versace. Who doesn't like Versace? Versace is very cool. Everybody dreams of wearing Versace. Next one would be Gucci. Gucci money. Yeah, Gucci is classic, he's unique, he's luxury. It's everything you want. Then one would be for a Cold War. A Cold War is one of my favorite brands because it's owned by a black designer and he has some unique streetwear looks, and I definitely love streetwear looks. I'll say jackets. I love jackets. Any kind of jackets. Winter jacket, jean jacket, denim jackets, all sorts of jackets. I love wearing jackets. I don't have a skincare routine because I have good skin thanks to my mom. But all I do is basically wash my face every morning and night before I go to bed. For health and fitness, I do work out once in a while, but I rarely work out because staying fit is not really hard for me. The model I look up to is Alpha Zia, simple and short. It's a black male model. When I did my debut show, he was there and he advised me on what to do next time, not to do this mistake again. So since then, we've been talking and I really look up to him. The challenges we face in the industry, I face in the industry, is the fact that I'm a black model, and being a model also is not easy because of the fact that we get paid a bit less compared to the females. And being black, again, it's on the downside because of racism, stuffs, a lot. So those are the two things I actually face in the industry. Like, things I don't like, the problems we face in the industry as Nigerians or black male models. And my favorite picture for my portfolio, it's social media shot I did for Versace backstage during their show, which is used on their website for their men's accessories. So that's the favorite picture in my portfolio currently. Yes, I get to travel a lot. Since I'm a model, I have to travel from one country to another because I have different agencies in Spain, Milan, Paris, Italy, Amsterdam, and Sweden. The most exciting place I've been to recently was Spain and Mallorca because I did a campaign there, and it was an island on its own inside Spain. It was so beautiful, so classic. So it's just, they have a lot of trees, mountains. It was so beautiful and I loved it. There are two things people will be surprised to learn about me. Is the fact that I'm a geek. I'm a geek when it comes to computers and like Japanese animations, and the fact that, and also my age. People are always surprised at my age. Most people think I'm like 18, 20, 23, but surprisingly, I'm 26, and they're always shocked to find out I can't be 26. I had to show them my ID most of the time. Like, oh look, I'm 26. The inspiration for my modeling career is actually to be one of the best male models in the world, and coming from Africa and Nigeria, because we don't have a top male model known around the world from Nigeria. So I want to be like a male model from Nigeria, from Africa, in the industry that is one that people can actually look up to. Very simple. A t-shirt, plain trousers or joggers, and some slides. I love to dress simple.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, Go TV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. And to watch NTA International in the USA, Canada, and Mexico, use the following satellite parameters. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
This is Adekunle Ajasin University in the heart of Akungba Akoko. History has it that the university was established in 1982 by the old Ondo State government, headed by Chief Michael Adekunle Ajasin. It was formerly called Obafemi Awolowo University and located in Ado-Ekiti. In 1985, the name was changed to Ondo State University, Ado-Ekiti, and when a new state was created from the old Ondo State, the university was relocated to its present and permanent site in 1999. In order to immortalize the founder, the name was changed to Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko. The relocation of the university to Akungba town has brought so many positive changes to the community in the area of population and economy. It has put the community on the map of educational destination for everyone. The agrarian town of Akungba is situated in the center of Akoko land, midway between the land area comprising the present Akoko Northwest, Northeast, Akoko Southeast, and Akoko Southwest. Like every other Yoruba community, the people of Akungba migrated from Ile-Ife.
They left Ife around 13th century in company of some other of us, like a way of Ado, like Oloba of Akoko, and our first settlement is called Ori Okiri. Ori Okiri. The first settler was led by Oba Alale Ibaju. Thus, Alale Ibaju is the first Alale of Akungba. The Kabiyesi that is speaking now is the 15th Alale of Akungba. So at Ori Okiri, we started work. We started clearing of the bush, making the environment neat. From that thing that we are doing in particular at that time came the name Akungba. What we were saying then is that that is, we were born in the bush, and Kunino, we were born in the bush. Then we were clearing Angba. We were clearing Angba and Kunino. So from that word, Akungba. Then from there, Akungba.
Although there are other schools of thoughts that believe that the first settler in Akungba Akoko settled under the locust bean tree.
If you are non-native, that sounds better and more reasonable than the first one. But the first one is it will sound in their ears better. Okungba. So from the word Okungba, Akungba. And where we are presently in, that is the third settlement. So we moved from Ori Okiri to Akpole. This current settlement, if you look at it, you will see that it is well planned. So it was planned by a catechist, a teacher, Mr. Osene, in 1940. Mr. Osene is from Owo. He planned the present settlement. If you move around Akungba now, it's a city.
There are 7 quarters that make up Akungba, and they all contribute to the day-to-day running of the university town, as it is fondly called by many people.
So we have Ilale quarters. We have Aqua quarters. We have Baka quarter. We have Opusa quarter. We have Akume quarter. We have Okele quarter. We have Igbelu quarter. All headed by a high chief.
I'm in charge of Okele quarters. Our administration is that we have elders. Elders are with the Olori to develop the town or the quarter. So with the youths, now we all develop the quarters.
We serve as a king maker, as well we also known as high chief. Before a king can become a king, we have 9 like 9 ancestor points where we normally take king to in order to play our role.
I'm the third rank in Akungba. I usually mobilize all the chiefs under me to do what is good in my quarter. And in Akungba, I also to support the Kabesi in everything he did in Akungba.
Culture is the social behavior and norms found in human society. In the humanities, one sense of culture as an attribute of the individual has been the degree to which they have cultivated a particular level of sophistication in arts, science, education, or manner.
People's culture is what must be nurtured for the future, because without your culture, your science will die, your tradition will die. In fact, it's one of the things we intend to push, that Akungba language should be, dialect should be taught as a secondary course in the university, to create relationship, to improve relationship between the university community and the people.
Every year, people from all walks of life, clad in their best traditional attire, and gather on the last Saturday of the month of July to celebrate the Cultural Yam Festival, which is tagged Akunde Yam Festival.
Akunde festival is Ijeshu Titun Akungba. It's as old as this community. Now we said Akunde. The word day there is just a nomenclature. It is the Ijeshu that we are doing. So our forefather, our forebears, they have been celebrating Ijeshu. What are they doing? For bumper harvest, for fertile ground, and they are thanking God for having a bumper harvest. This Ijeshu Titu is not a new phenomenon. It's as old as the community itself.
The theme of the event actually was Akungba reunion for peace, progress, unity, and development. We try to depoliticize it in terms of bringing more of the culture and the arts rather than politics and religion. It's an annual event where sons and daughters of the community come together. They call them Olu Omo Akungba. You know the idea of Olu means the nucleus, the king, the great ones in the community coming together to uplift and upgrade their society.
In commemoration of the week-long Akunde Festival, various activities take place in the palace arena of the Alale of Akungba Akoko Kingdom. Oba Sunday Adeyeye Ajimo III, some of which is the Ayo Olokmo, a traditional game.
Bringing back the Ayolokon to the consciousness of some people have never even seen it before. Some young people have never seen it before. They don't know what it is. And when they saw people dancing and singing, and they now found that it was more than the two people playing it.
The Cabbage is a champion in Ayolokon. It's a game for relaxation. What would be the politics of exclusion? So I will eat, then I will not allow the other person to eat. And if I want to give the other person food, then I will give him 1 seed. I take 5 seeds from you. It's a brain tasking. You must be highly knowledgeable before you can play this. Then during your local game, it's also meant for comedy. Social interaction. That you say things that you cannot say ordinarily. You should know who will outsmart the other person. That's what we are doing there.
For every cultural event, such as the Akungba festival, to be successful, the involvement of women must be taken into consideration, as their roles cannot be overemphasized.
Whatever happens that concerns a woman, they normally come to me for me to discuss with Kabiyesi, so that they will have they will get the solution and the problem solved. So because they see me that I am nearest to them, they cannot just walk to Kabiyesi just like that. So they have to discuss with me.
Consequently, various cultural dances are performed by the women, including the Eriwole dance. In time past, this dance was performed by the virgins in the society.
Coming here, seeing dances, seeing statues, seeing cultural people, old women, old men dancing, doing all those kind, and they have names for different kind of dance. So I can say it's a very, very entertaining and exciting experience for me.
I want to resuscitate our culture, tradition. That's why I gave the old people mandate. I said, you are going to start with this Akungba festival. That, okay, old women, that you are helping the king to build the community. So you show good example. So they will follow, others will follow.
The youth of Akungba are fully involved in the ceremony, and they participate in various competitions, including beauty pageants and football.
Because the community as a whole, they are supportive to the fashion show.
At the grand finale, the people of Akungba in southwest Nigeria shove political and religious differences aside to celebrate the annual Akunde New Yam Festival amidst pageantry.
This is way of, encouraging ourselves, bringing ourselves together to celebrate Akun. Because Akun means the people of Akungba. So we have been introducing our culture, bringing it back. Our culture gives honor to integrity of the family. We value, in Yoruba general, we value family integrity. So by so doing, we are incorporating that value back into our youth. I think the sole aim of any good son of Akungba is towards wherever we become. We have a fortune. Our fortune is to raise about the rest of Akungba. That's our primary objective. Anything after that is secondary. Because that's why we employ all our Akungba indigenous. Wherever we have them may be, they come home and celebrate. Not just a celebration. There's a ways of helping, assisting people.
We are showcasing Akungba land to the Nigerian community as a whole. And we thank God that we have very good weather, even though it's the rainy season. And the blessing of God has been shown. And that is why we're having a very successful event today.
They converge on Holy Trinity Primary School, venue of the event, to celebrate their rich cultural heritage. Traditional rulers from adjoining communities, including Olubaka of Oka Koko, Oba Yusuf Adebori Adeleye, was on ground as the royal father of the day, and also to show solidarity with the people of Akungba.
Akungba is a university town, and Akungba is unique in Akoko. We have very, very dynamic, forward-looking, and very focused people who are out to develop the state. Akungba has been playing very, very significant role in the vanguard of development in Akoko land, both human and infrastructural development. So Akungba is in the forefront.
Indeed, it is a gathering of who is who in the community, as people came from far and near to grace the cultural event.
We cannot allow our culture to die because several countries outside Africa have been using their culture to promote their tourism and to promote their economy. So that is why we have been using this project also to come up so that people around and other cities or cultures can know that really Akungba, Akoko, it's one of the towns that have been projecting more cultural image of the Yoruba race. So we have been trying to use this to sell ourselves to the people outside this community to know that really our culture is important to us and we are projecting it very well.
The aura of what actually transpired here today, I think it should be a very good lesson to those that are just coming up, so that they should know ways of life and how to interrelate their culture, what happens, what transpires in their own days, festival days, compared to anyone they eventually meet in the nearest future.
Non-indigens who reside in the Akungba community also speak about the hospitable nature of the Akungba people.
Said that I'm a son of soil of Akungba, and I'm very, very proud to be from Akungba.
Akungba people like strangers. They are very, very accommodating because I'm not.
Highlights of the event is the presentation of awards to deserving indigents and bursary awards to 14 students, 2 representatives from each of the 7 quarters which make up Akungba.
If you want to invest in the push that are struggling with paying school fees, that we should assist them.
I can say this is a development for the community, and this will bring about development and a new mentality for the youth in the community to engage in the academic activities.
I will use the bursary to pay my school fees and necessary things in my school.
Coming up with the bursary awards is giving undergraduates from low-income families. Some of them are orphans, some are, very low-income family. We don't want to call them poor. A lot of people have done that, have fallen victim of financial constraint and drop out of school. So imagine where those people could be in under 10 years.
I am irrevocably committed to the peace and unity of Akungba people, and I pursue that vigorously.
Indigents of Akungba Boko usually look forward to Akunde Yam Festival, the celebration that unites and reminds them of their ancestral heritage, culture, and the ties that bind them together as a people.
Hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Beyond 6 packs, because your job still remains as the man to protect the woman, to project the woman. You need to do that again. We dance like dance like dance like
This is the network service of the NTA.
woman's right to choose the number, timing and spacing of her children is fundamental, and contraception is an integral part of her decision making. Contraceptives have a proven track record of enhancing the health of women and children, preventing unwanted pregnancy and reducing the need for abortion. What are the available contraceptive methods? Join us for answers as we shine our spotlight on contraception with the objective of raising awareness of this very important intervention to enable people make informed choices about their sexual and reproductive health. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Health Options. I am Rabi Abdullah. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Health Options, the program that not only tracks government policies on health, but gives you the right information you need to make informed choices about your health. And our focus is contraception. With me to take us through the topic is Dr. Salma Anas, Director of Family Health Department, Federal Ministry of Health. Glad to have you with us, Doc.
Thank you very much, Rabi.
Let's start on a general note now. Contraception. What is the place of contraception in reproductive health?
It's an integral part of the reproductive package. In fact, we say the whole scope of the family life cycle, the reproductive, maternal, newborn, adolescent, and child health, because it has one impact or the other on the whole life cycle of an individual. So as a woman, so looking at it within the scope, even as a girl child, as an adult, adolescent, and also as a girl, there's a time that you will definitely need to control and manage your fertility, because not only for the positive impact on you as an individual, your health, but also the health of your children that you are bringing to the world, and also the impact on the community and the overall positive impact on socio-economic development.
I think the whole thing around it basically has to do with preventing unwanted pregnancy. It means you need to be ready.
Yes.
Right? So that gets me thinking, what about young adolescents?
So contraception is for everyone. Everyone that is in need of preventing pregnancy, especially what we call the unwanted pregnancy, pregnancies that are not planned, whether within marriage or outside marriage. So it's for the whole of every woman that is within the reproductive age. But we do know that significant proportion of our married women of reproductive age also are constituted by the adolescent girls. So there should be free access, to information in the first place of the type of contraception you will need for your type, for your style, and that will meet your needs. And also there is need for the commodities to be available and accessible, quality, accessible, and also affordable.
Okay.
And in most cases, it must be free, and this is what the Nigerian government is doing, because most of these women are vulnerable women, especially the adolescent girls. They may not be able to afford it, and there are barriers within communities also that deter them from accessing quality services. So government of Nigeria has made it free in the public health facilities so that women can have access to it also.
What constitutes contraception?
So thank you, Rabi. If I might go back, I say, what is even contraception? Exactly. So, we need to know from there. So as we say, contraception is anything that we use to prevent pregnancy, especially unplanned pregnancy. So be it a woman or a man on both sides, you can take measures, deliberate measures to prevent pregnancy. And you have to use what we call the contraceptive products. So these are products that are readily available. And there are also non-products, natural way of doing it. So we're looking at the natural way, the products that you can have access. There are products that could be in form of oral pills. They could be in form of injectables. They could be in form of what we call intrauterine devices, either hormonal or non-hormonal. And they could also be in terms of, you can use like a diaphragm to cover the cervix so that it does not have access to the sperm to produce. And then you can also use like the condoms. So there are several different methods that can suit individual. And there are also the natural methods, that they are not product. And this can also be on both sides of the male and the female. So on the side of the woman, she can decide also to use the timing of her menstrual cycle. to determine the timing of her ovulation
period.
Exactly, every month. So she charts it and then record it, because temperatures fluctuate. She needs to know the right temperature, and with time she will get to know the right temperature that she's ovulating. So these are another way that you can use the calendar, the menstrual cycle, and also the secretion of the cervical also changes. So these are natural methods, even though their efficacy is not as effective as the use of products.
So the ovulation period means she has to stay off sexual activity.
Away totally from sexual activity.
In order not to
or
become
if she
pregnant.
has to use the condom, at another product again. And then on the side of the men also, they use what they call withdrawal methods, which means they don't ejaculate inside the woman, they have to withdraw and ejaculate outside. So these are all natural methods. And then outside that also, there are methods. The ones I mentioned are temporary reversible methods. So the time that you decide to go back to your fertility, you stop. Then there are permanent methods where you decide forever you don't want to. You want to avoid pregnancy. So these ones are also available methods for women that have had adequate number of children and they don't want to go into that business of reproduction again. So options are available to them and also to men. And these are what we call the sterilization. So for women, it's usually the tubal ligation. You cut the tubes or you tie the tubes so that the eggs does not flow or the sperm does not flow and meet the egg. So these are permanent methods. Some can do it for reasons best known to them, medical indication. Maybe the woman has certain illnesses that she's been advised not to go into a pregnancy again because of her physiology, or some because you have reached the number of children that you want to have. Because without contraception, without intervention, a woman is likely to produce, even if you have 2 years intervention in your life cycle, you can produce more than 30 children without family planning. And then the system that you have cannot cope with that mechanism of production of children. So that is why it becomes critical and a way of life of the family to be able to adopt and look at what options fits them most and the best.
Okay, for the natural method, did you mention breastfeeding?
So yes, thank you for bringing that up. Very important because it's another natural way and most women use the breastfeeding.
My favorite.
Yes, which we call the lactational amenorrhea. So some women, most women also, significantly when they breastfeed, we said breastfeed exclusively and continue up to 2 years. So throughout the period of their breastfeeding, they don't their menstrual cycle does not resume, and if they are lucky also their ovulation does not resume. So that is another form of natural family planning, and a lot of women do it. It is also effective, but also there are very high failure rate because some ovulation resume without the woman even knowing. But in most women, the lactational amenorrhea is another option because as long as she continues to breastfeed, the hormone like the progesterone continue to suppress a menstrual cycle as well as in some cases the ovulation. So these are all natural methods that women have. We also have new products now in the market. So this is what we call the family planning commodities mix. So we have different choices for women and men in the family planning program. The mix also now we have hormonal intrauterine device. These are hormonal device that you can use, and then they have very less side effects and they can stay for like 3 to 6 years. And then the no plant where you can have like sticks in the upper arm, and then it can also stay like for 5 to 6 years without returning to fertility, and then you can reverse it when you want. Another mixed method that are available also, which is very effective, especially for women that needs to be empowered so that they have control of their fertility. These are available in the market where you self-administer, just like we self-administer insulin by diabetic patients that are insulin dependent. Those that are insulin, we are used to it in Nigeria. They inject it anytime and they manage their diabetes status. So this is similar to it, and we call it the dexamethasone acetate self-subcute. So the DMP-CSCA subcute, a woman just injected self-administration under the skin.
What part of the body?
She can administer in the upper and on the thigh at any time, just like you administer the insulin. So you see, it doesn't, she has control over it. She doesn't need to go to the health facility. Once the health worker train her on how to do it, she continue to administer it, and it can take a very long time.
What's responsible, in terms of some misconception, regarding the long-term, effects of contraception?
Yeah, so there are lots of misconceptions, there are lots of myths around fertility control, and management. But the efforts that we are putting in, and this is exactly what is tagged this year as the World Breastfeeding Day, is to also create that awareness. Just like what we are observing this year, 26th of September every year is dedicated to observe the World Contraceptive Day. And the purpose is to create awareness, because awareness has been a key area that we are still lagging behind in terms of uptake. Nigeria, we are not where we want to be, but we have made modest progress in the recent years. Since the introduction of the National Family Planning Program by the Federal Government of Nigeria and the Ministry of Health in the early 80s, it was very, very low. Today, our contraceptive, the MCR, that is the modern contraceptive prevalence rate, has continued to grow. In fact, the growth rate is almost at about 3% and above, which shows that we are really making modest progress, even though very slow. If you look at the National Demographic Health Survey that was conducted in 2013 and compared to 2018, you will see there is a modest progress. As of 2018, the modern contraceptive prevalence is about 12%, and the total contraceptive, that is taken all together, including all methods, is almost at 17%. And recently, from recent surveys, we are beginning to see another increase in the contraceptive, almost by about 3% additional to the 12% or 5%. So it's almost at about 17%, and those plus, and also the total is almost 21%. So that shows increment, and that also affects the total fertility in the country. In 2013, it was 5.7%. Then by 2018, the total fertility came down to about 5.3%. And now we are glad to mention also, though we are still planning for the National Demographic Health Survey, but there are other international surveys that are acceptable and endorsed in Nigeria.
So what are they telling?
And they are now telling us that it has even declined to about 4.6%. So which means the uptake of contraception is gradually growing, and it's going up, and the growth rate is even up to 3%, just like our population growth rate is 3%. So this is really amazing. And another big booster and a catalyst was the launch by the president himself of the National Population Policy, which is a policy on the management of our population for sustainable development. So that has also boosted, because it has also, he has made commitments, and Nigerians have also made commitment, and we are part of the global commitment on family planning, which is called the 2030 vision. And the idea is for Nigeria to move from this level to improve our family planning uptake to 27% by 2030 and even beyond. And I'm glad and optimistic to note that the way we are growing, it appears Nigeria is going to achieve 27% by 2030.
Okay, so
if today we are saying we are almost around 21% plus.
How would a woman know what is best for, what method is best for her to adopt?
So these are part of the myths that we are dealing with in the health sector, because what we advise women and men as well is that you should know yourself better. What applies to another woman does not apply to you, because you are totally different. And there are various options that you need to look and take your choice based on your own circumstances. There are women that will take oral contraceptive every day of their lives. For some women, it's not possible because of their nature and makeup. There are women that will prefer to go to injectables just for 3 months. There are women that don't even like injections. It's a nightmare for them to ask them to go for injection. So it's a barrier. So there are options. And so we don't say what goes for this particular woman A also applies for B. And this is where the counseling comes in. Our health workers are well trained on counseling skills. And this is where they sit one-on-one with a client, and that is the woman or couples, and advise them and provide all the options and understand also their physiology, their socio-economic status, their level of education, because all matters. Then it helps them to decide what is the best choice for them. Even the self-administration, we are saying not every woman will be able to administer self-injection, but other women is the best option. Some will go for the no plant, where they put the sticks like about 4 or 5, and off they go for another 5 to 6 years and focus on their livelihoods and activities. So we are aggressively enlightening the communities, we are enlightening the families, and then we are involving a wide range of stakeholders in the community leaders, religious leaders.
Leaders. I was going to ask that because I've attended a lot of fora where such issues had come up. We know some faiths don't even accept that.
We work together, we partner with Islamic religious leaders and also the Christian religious leaders on what does the two religions see, and there are different perspectives. Within Christianity, there are different perspectives. So based on their own affiliation and thinking, we work with them and look at it, what works. And some would tell you that for health benefits, to improve the health of the woman, we can adopt breastfeeding, and also to space the children, because you can't have a woman having children every year, but every 2 years. It becomes a burden. So it affects also the health of the child, the nutrition of the child, leading to malnutrition, leading to deaths, high infant mortality, and also morbidities, that is sickness. The same thing also applies to the mother, plus other siblings. So when we dialogue with them on their own, they come up with a direction on what best fits into their religious thinking. In Islam, there is quotations in the Quran that talks even about breastfeeding up to 2 years. And so you see, family planning is always naturally integrated in it. And then there are a lot of sheikhs and ulamas that have also talked about the use of family planning to improve the health of the mother, to space the children, healthy timing and spacing of pregnancy, and also to improve the well-being of the mother. So one cannot just say one, but I'm glad to mention we've worked with different associations and organizations of the faith base, one of which is the Interfaith, to promote family planning awareness and demand creations. We've engaged with several religious leaders also that are currently promoting. But of course, Rabi, we need to do the new thing. It has been there traditionally. Like some Muslim ulamas will tell you, the withdrawal, it has always been there, so that you should have the number of children that you can take care of, in terms of not just nutrition, but also moral upbringing. So you see, a lot of them are beginning to have a better understanding. But one of the key misconceptions is that a lot of religions here, they feel it's a foreign agenda. It is not. It is our own agenda, and it has been there even before the step up of family planning, which started just about 60 decades ago. The family planning commodities, but people have traditionally been using family planning methods which has not been so effective. So the world is dynamic, and medicine is the same thing, and science is the same. So it keeps on evolving and coming up with better way of doing things. So today and research is still ongoing on how do we make family planning products much easier to administer, more acceptable to both women and men. And Nigerian government started providing farm sources for the procurement of family planning. Nigeria continued to commit to that up till today. So now what we are seeing with the impact of the COVID pandemic, which has also affected the significance, why are we doing it, and costs, and also some lessons learned to improve awareness. So I'm glad to say Nigeria, we have a localized, pricing to procure for Nigeria.
So what would you like to say to those other states that are yet to do that?
There is no integrating access to family planning as an integral part of your sexual and reproductive health commodities. And I encourage subnational government that are not doing so, because I've saved 30% of them her chances of dying from pregnancy related causes and childbirth. So that is a guarantee, and it's a quick win. So you will deal with other issues, and we know scientifically, evidence have shown us from our daily work that exposure to pregnancy is more than 30% cause of death in women. 40% of our adolescent girls that die as a result of pregnancy and childbirth.
On a final note, some people have said contraception kind of, encourages from promiscuity among young adolescents.
All the time. But I always say, let us do a cost benefit as the non-benefit to the general population. Far, far outweighs the benefits of non-use. Because most women and girls and adolescents will only use contraceptive when they need to prevent pregnancies. The consequences of unwanted pregnancy far outweighs the consequences on her career in the future. And then the complications of even the deliveries that will be associated with it. And then the implications of having a child that you did not plan for far outweighs not using contraceptive. So these are areas that I used to advocate to create awareness, let them have a better understanding of situation, of how can we collectively work together to save lives.
Okay,
that is the most important.
Yeah, it's about saving lives, and we should not lose about the health of our women and children. On that note, I'd like to say thank you to you. This is where we end the episodes of the program. Email us for your comment.